say you are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live at the champ. Her last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage, smackdown. Hold the title, this is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
Because they are the best tag team in the world today! Woo!
George, I think George just tried his resume for Tony Khan. I don't know for George. Huh?
We're Savage! But of course.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live at the champ. Her last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage, smackdown. Hold the title, this is Wrestling with Savage. What?
I'm trying to give these two W's. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with Savage. We're here live with Jay, and we're going to be talking about all things NXT. And of course, me and Jay here in Savage City, the citizens of Savage City, also need to become citizens of the Busted Open Savage chapter, which was just open recently, right, Jay? And we're going to be getting t-shirts. We're going to get our shirt on the official Pod Swag store with Dave LaGrega, because the Savage chapter is going to be a real thing. And I'm going to bring it up on the show tomorrow when I call in. I'm going to talk to Dave tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting phone call. Let's just say that. I don't know how long it's going to go, how long it's going to get, but it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be trying something different, and we'll see how it goes. Should be interesting, because usually whatever I do is good. Here's what I did today on Busted Open. Let's see what I did today.
Let's go to Savage in Whitestone. Savage, what did you think of Raw last night?
Raw could have been 100 times better, just like Bully said. That promo went 16 minutes, and then if you count the match altogether, it was about an hour. The match was actually a banger, but the promo should have been about 3-4 minutes, including Riddle asking everybody to play with his bongs. I was really devastated that Theory cashed in that briefcase last night. It absolutely made no sense that you're going to have him go over on Shelton Benjamin earlier in the night, who was a great superstar, looks fantastic, 47 years old, moving around like a 27-year-old. But he's going to beat Benjamin and then go on to cash in the briefcase for a title that's not the World Championship title. So you know the Vince McMahon era is absolutely over when we crush and bury Theory, we crush and bury Dana Brooke, and what the hell, I love Chad Gable and Otis, but why did we bury Elias last night? Why is Elias not taking that guitar and breaking it over Gable's head? Why aren't we seeing more out of the superstars that are capable? Bully says it all the time. Raw last night lacked star power, and the biggest star in the ring all night was Seth Rollins. At the end of the night, they did put on a good show. I did like the finish, but only because my favorite wrestler won and didn't lose that title, because when I saw Theory cash in, I'm like, I can't see this right now. He's not taking the title off Rollins.
Well, Savage, hold on a second. Calm down, Savage. Calm down, and thanks for the phone call. Bully, what about Austin Theory? Was that the end of this Austin Theory run, so to speak, last night? Because Austin Theory, that was the McMahon guy. We saw Austin Theory with Vince McMahon. You even said it on this show.
So, just like Dave is going right into that, he wants to know right away what Bully thinks about Theory, if, what I'm saying about, him basically getting buried. What do you think? How are you booking Theory next week, man?
I can't say, to be honest, man. I really hate this outcome. I think I was well-spoken last night about it. I just feel the changing of the whole briefcase just kind of kills it. It's a buzzkill for me, If Jericho was probably watching this, probably would be like, wow, they really took my concept and really gave a crap on it.
Yeah, someone in our Discord mentioned that he's going to start to question himself, and that, they're here to see kind of like a lost angle. Like, we're going to see Theory become someone who just has no idea who he is anymore. He's going to have to search for help. Useless, clueless. losing streak, basically.
I would say one thing quick. Shout out to the Nation's Corner. I was on their chat room, and I did say this, and I've been saying this for the longest. It would have made sense if Theory, which he teased, if you remember, a few weeks back in NXT when he held it in front of Braun Breaker, it would have been nice if he cashed in on Braun Breaker, boom, have a program at Deadline on the 10th, boom, that sends Braun Breaker bye-bye, we send him to the main roster, debut Royal Rumble, boom, Theory carries on the NXT brand, and it will help him mold into becoming a better all-around wrestler. That's how I would have done.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So what'd you think of the phone call today?
Savage, calm down, calm down, calm down.
Are you going to be picking up your Dave LaGreca head?
I'm going to have to. Guilt, wherever you at, I'm going to have to meet you, man. But back to the hand, I mean, it's pretty much, what I've been saying all along. I mean, what more can you say about this whole situation we got here? Theory, the briefcase, championship. I honestly don't know anymore. I wish I could answer people and fans that we have here, but do you have an idea, Savage? I mean,
for Theory, I don't know. It's going to be a complete rebranding, packaging probably deal. He might even be off TV for a while. I don't know.
Could be.
I think next week is going to determine, like, what we see next week, whether we see nothing or whether we see something. You're going to get some kind of indication of where he's headed right now for the next few months. But I guess we're going to have to get back into that. You were going to say something else about the call?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I was just more into Theory, and this whole thing just got me all boiling hot. But back to the call, man. I think you hit the points fair. It was a good show overall. Shelton Benjamin does move like a 27-year-old, maybe a 21-year-old, but let me not go that far. But overall, he looked great, man. It didn't make sense to me, just like you say, to just have him book in that match and then all of a sudden just having cash in on the briefcase. I know there was probably other things that you were going to talk about, and you just kind of ended the call, which I'm sure you'll let us know after I'm done talking. So, I think you hit the key marks, man. I just really want to hear your take, or maybe you have said it earlier today on Busted Open. I want to hear your take on the whole briefcase situation. Do you think that was a right call for this guy to just cash in on a United States Championship when we have been homegrown for this briefcase to always be cashing on championship? Not only that, Theory cutting all these promos for the last 2 months, maybe 3, about cashing in on Roman Reigns in the championship.
I mean, for me personally, I think it's a bad call because that briefcase gives you so many different options for storylines from now all the way to WrestleMania. And for you to just throw that out the window, I think that's a bad move because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to go down. Maybe you need to change the storyline up. Maybe you need to go somewhere else, another direction. The only thing that this explains to me is that they know exactly where they're fucking going. And it's not in the direction of Theory.
And a lot of people have a lot of feelings about Theory, and I'm on the same page with them. He's not ready to be championship. I think I've been saying that on the show for the longest. But overall, he is a good wrestler. I would have done it a lot differently. I would have done it the NXT way. But, hey, this is what we get, and it's causing a lot of confusion because now we don't know where we're heading with Theory. We have no idea.
Nah, we definitely don't have any idea where we're going with Theory, but we might as well get into NXT because that's what we're here for. We're here for NXT taking place tonight live from the Performance Center. Schism's going to come out to the ring. They have their masks on. It has some writing on it. There's some cool things. We don't get anything from little Dwayne Johnson Jr. over there. It's not happening. Nothing, not a word. She just comes out. Apparently, like I said, I thought she was going to be a manager, and it looks like that's going to be her role. Going to be accompanying Joe Gacy to the ring, coming out with the dyads. And Joe Gacy, if you noticed tonight, Jay, had kind of a whole repackage as far as how he looks when he's in the ring. What did you think about his look tonight?
The man lost weight. That's all I'm going to say about it. The whole schism thing is a lot of creative changes has been going in the last few weeks. They never used to come out with masks. Now all of a sudden they come out like some purge type of shit. And I'm kind of feeling it, to be honest. But I didn't think Ava was really on point tonight. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it.
Well, I mean, she has the mask on. She's just walking to the ring. What is there to feel?
I just feel like she wasn't in cue on certain things with facial expressions throughout the match. That's how I feel. You know,
Okay.
I get it, but you know,
I mean, this was definitely a new look for Joe Gacy. It kind of feels like a fresh start in a way for him. And honestly, he was putting work in on Cameron Grimes early. Going into the break, too, Cameron Grimes was getting his ass kicked. Joe Gacy was just overpowering him, using the size for offense. You got a lot of distractions from the schism in general. So, you know, it was looking good for Joe in this match. I was like, he's probably going to pick up the win right now because, you know, look what's going on right now. Cameron Grimes, in the end, he has a huge comeback. There was a super kick that didn't land well from Gacy. But, you know, Grimes was selling, as Grimes always sells, very well. Gacy hits a nice clothesline into a backbreaker that was beautiful. Now we got multiple vicious shots from Joe Gacy trying to, like, show that he's a badass in the ring. And some of them looked okay, some of them didn't. He did a decent crossface. But in my opinion, I would have made my legs a lot tighter, and I would have clenched my muscles and my biceps as hard as I possibly could to just try to make it look a little tighter. You don't have to kill the guy to make it look like you're killing the guy. And that's my advice to guys like Joe Gacy. You already have a big frame, so all you got to do is just make it look a little tighter, and it's going to look like you're genuinely killing somebody when you're, you know, squeezing them or stretching them out, you know? And thus making it look more real. Joe Gacy would pick up the win. What did you see in the match tonight?
Probably Joe Gacy's best match I've probably seen. That's what I seen. He was very impressive.
It's a good call.
Overall, I loved the part when he just threw Grimes into the ropes and then he had him into a hip toss and he changed it into a suplex. That was something modified. I've never seen that. That was pretty impressive. Grimes was also pretty impressive with the reverse hurricanrana spot, and the super kicks and the strikes. So the selling was great. Everything was great between these two guys. I can't say nothing bad about it. I know we're going to talk about another match later on, which most people are going to say is probably match of the night. But to me, I feel like this is match of the night for me. It was an opening match. It was very impressive. Cameron Grimes put on a show. And Joe Gacy kind of delivered, and these two worked really well. I thought Ava Raine was just, you know, she interfered. Okay. The facial expressions, I don't know, just kind of threw me off. I just felt that there was something a little off. But, you know, hey, I'm a fan, so let's see where that goes. But that's how I feel about it.
You're not a
I really
fan,
like
you're
this
a
match.
mark. And that's why you think this was match of the night. You're a mark for
really
Grimes.
think this was match of the night for me.
You're a
This was
mark,
match of
yeah,
the
but
night.
only because it's Cameron
And-
Grimes. If it was anybody else, it wouldn't be the match of the night.
And this could possibly be his last match.
Who, Grimes?
He is rumored for the main event. So
What main event?
I think his match.
Survivor
main event
Series?
roster. No, main event roster. I don't know when, but
Main event roster. What does that even mean nowadays?
personally-
Is he just going to be getting beat up by Bobby Lashley? Like sometime in the next 6 months?
I hope not, man.
You really
This
think
guy's
he's
really
going to the
talented.
moon over Cody? Like right now, to me, if I was a
He's
pro
very
wrestler
talented.
coming up in the ranks, right, and I just got signed, I'd be fucking, you know, I wouldn't be thinking about winning a championship any fucking time soon. Because I look at all the guys around you that are in line for titles.
But it's out with the old and in with the new. There's too many new people in NXT. It's to the point that Grimes is already moving their way up.
Yeah, but
It's
the
time.
way it works, bro, none of these guys in NXT, bro. There's only one in NXT who might have a chance of getting that championship before anybody, and that's Braun Breaker. Let's be real. Braun Breaker is the only person from NXT who has a legitimate shot of winning that championship in the next 2 years. I even go as far to say that. Next 2 years. No one else on the NXT roster, Jay. Not even Grayson Waller. Not Apollo Crews. Definitely not Joe Gacy. None of those guys are winning the WWE Championship in the next 2 years. It's not happening.
It might be Scripps.
We don't even know who Scripps is. Scripps had a big impact tonight on NXT, huh? We saw some different stuff.
I think we're about to see more next week.
Do you think that maybe this schism's connected in some way, or is this going to be... Is he just one dude, or is this a faction? That's my question to you.
Who knows? It gotta be
I
one
hope it's
person.
just one dude that's just a badass.
I don't want to get my hopes up.
Scripps.
Hopefully.
Man.
Scripps.
Now we're going to see in the medical center, you know, Nathan Frazier's still hurt. He's coming out. Axiom's waiting for him because he's his friend. You know, they like to have fun and talk to each other and have good conversations. Have a good time. You know, not everybody's like that in NXT. JD McDonough's not like that. JD McDonough shows up and basically tells Axiom he's a piece of shit. And that if he was in that ladder match, he would have fucking got his ass kicked too. Just like his friend Nathan. And if he wants later tonight, he can arrange it so that he can be even closer to his little friend Nathan over there. By making sure he sends him right here as soon as this match is over. This was decent. And, you know, I don't care how much you hate JD McDonough or how much you want to make fun of this guy. JD McDonough is fucking legit, bro. I mean, he's basically like a tinier version of Daniel Bryan. But honestly, from what I've seen thus far from his current run and his NXT UK run, which was even better, he's better. He's better than Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him. He is. He's faster. He's meaner. He has a sick-looking finisher. He's got a mean mug. He can cut a fucking promo anywhere, anytime, on anyone, just like me. He doesn't need a cue. He needs one take, and he'll get it done in the ring live on TV every Tuesday. The guy's a beast, bro. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's better than Johnny Gargano. He's better than Ciampa.
There's a person that could beat him. His name is Zack Sabre Jr.
Nah. Maybe
Way better.
Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's the only person that's better than anybody right now that I'm naming, but I like JD McDonough. End of story. I like JD McDonough. I think he's a great worker. And at the end of the day, whether he becomes a winner or a loser, he's going to help make a lot of these guys in NXT right now are going to learn a lot about this business from JD McDonough. The guy's money. The Irish Ace is a great professional wrestler. And everybody would be a lot smarter if they really pay attention to the way he works in the ring and the way he presents himself. He's very short. He's not big, but he's the dude in the club that's looking to knock out the biggest guy there. And I like it. I like it. Axiom, you can see, he's even smaller than JD McDonough. Even smaller. Incredible in that picture. Now we get the picture of Nikita Lyons, Joey Starks. They're coming into the Performance Center, and they're so fucking happy. They're so fucking happy that they're the tag team #1 contenders. We're gonna fucking, it's gonna be great, man. We'll get into them later tonight. We'll talk about that match later tonight. They're in the main event against your NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. All right? And there's gonna be some drama tonight. But we're gonna get into that later. Right now, we got a shot of Booker T, Vic Joseph on commentary. Jay, let's get an update on your commentary status for NXT. How are you feeling about the commentary team right now at this stage of the game?
It is by far the worst I have ever seen. Please,
the worst.
Get Booker T off of commentary for NXT. He's not helping any of these stars go over. And some of the stuff he's saying is just nonsense.
These two screenshots I have here, Booker doesn't even look happy to be there right now. And these two pictures, I mean. So, Jay, it looks like you just went to the barbershop. Were you there earlier with Carmelo and Trick Daddy?
I wish, but
Tricky Daddy, Tricky Williams? No?
Jesus.
So let's get into this barbershop segment over here. All right, Carmelo Hayes says the streets are talking. The streets always talk about Melo. NXT Championship, he's talking some shit. Everybody, all his friends are talking some shit. I think the barber goes on to say that the NXT universe is behind Wes Lee. Everything has to stop. Everybody's upset that he even said this. Melo gives Lee some props, but he says he never beat me. He never made that title relevant. I did. I made that championship famous. And he said he made it more relevant than the NXT title, which, let's be real, that's kind of a stretch. All right? Just a little bit. It's just a little bit of a stretch. I mean, but it's Carmelo, and that's what he does. He talks shit. And, you know, I thought it ran a little long, the barbershop segment. But good production quality. I mean, you can't argue the production quality. I mean, the extras look like they're really trying to pretend like they give a shit.
This is a bunch of baloney, but all I'm gonna say is it's just bad, right? That we're seeing Melo still like trapped in this North American Championship for the last, I don't know,
5,000 years. I don't know.
You know, it's just sad that we can't move this guy up to the main roster or just move him up to a championship NXT match with Braun Baker at least. But this is just sad, man. I just feel bad for him.
No, I agree with you. It's funny there. Booker T's reaction now. I made sure to take a screenshot of his reaction after the barbershop segment. And he loved it. He's got his hand in there. He's praising it, loving it. And now Vic Joseph is sitting there. He's looking like now he looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Out of here. Get this guy out of here. That's what he's thinking. Get this guy out of here.
My name is written on the walls, through the halls. My voice sounds through the halls. Soon I'll be in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
To watch the whole thing fall. Pain is truly among thee. Imagine what will happen. Has happened. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Scripts. Okay. I'm going to say this. They're investing a lot of money in these entrances.
Well,
man.
who is it? Who is it?
It's definitely not question. Soul Rika, who has a match coming up right now.
Yeah, dude.
Soul Rika's fighting Elektra Lopez. Lopez basically kicked the shit out of Soul Ruka, like pretty bad. Ends up hitting her with an electric shock. Picks up the 1-2-3. I'm not gonna lie, Elektra looked very impressive on NXT tonight. Incredible ring shape, great movement, great intensity, and there was a great segment of just like, you know, between her and Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell comes out, attacks Lopez, and honestly, they made that little small segment with the security coming out and breaking it up. They made it look more real than most of the guys would have in the locker room. I'll say that. I liked it. I want to see that match now. They did a good job of building the match with that little skit, and now I'm actually invested in wanting to find out where that match is going to go, because I feel like they're both good. Like, tonight I looked at Lopez a little different. Like, maybe she can beat Mandy Rose. Maybe. I don't know if she can, but maybe. It looked more possible tonight than any other night I've seen her. What do you think about that?
I think that she shouldn't be in the ring with a person so green as Soul Ruka, number one.
But for a squash
number
match
two,
even?
Not even for a squash match. This girl is so green that she was supposed to catch Lopez's leg and she missed for a split second. Everybody was like, oh, I don't know if you caught that, but
I don't think I did.
It was pretty bad. I love the new entrance. I thought it was great. I thought the video behind it was great. I don't feel like she's ready for Mandy Rose, but she's a great addition to the women's roster in NXT, I feel. I could see her having the little battles before we get to that NXT conversation. That's just how I feel about it. I think she got to put a little more work.
Absolutely. She definitely needs some more seasoning, and the experience will come with that. Sol Rica just taking the losses for now, but I feel like they're definitely investing money in her because she has a very nice animation. And
but there was no pop today.
No, not at all. No. The crowd didn't give a shit about this match. I mean, I feel like they were more into when Indy Hartwell came out and attacked Lopez. That got a pop.
That actually gives me problems, that whole Hartwell, because I feel like...
What's wrong with Hartwell?
Because I feel like they're force-feeding us to like Hartwell. I don't think you need to do that. I think you just got to let her be her own natural self, and I think we will all like her because we all do, but I don't like this force-feeding that she has to come out in every segment or match.
I'm not gonna lie to you now. I didn't feel like it was force-fed tonight. I feel like this was just...
I felt, for me...
I'm telling you how I took it, and it's interesting that you're saying that because we had two different takes then, because tonight I was actually super impressed with Indy Hartwell and everything she did, from the run-in to the way she was talking trash, to the way she handled her interview, to the way she put Roxanne Perez in her place tonight. If you really paid attention tonight, Indy Hartwell was all over the show tonight. She had more segments than anybody. She was all over the place.
First of all, don't get me started with a C+ player being with an A+ star.
Here we go.
Perez in his segment, okay? Let's not get started with that.
Come on now.
But go ahead. No, I'm serious. But overall, all jokes aside, to me personally, I just felt like seeing her too much. I don't need to see her too much. I already know who she is.
So that's what it is. You got upset that you saw her too much. But you know what? I agree with you. One of those segments...
This week, it's like too much.
One of those segments could have went to somebody like Tiffany Stratton. Why haven't we seen Tiffany Stratton?
Or what happened to Wendy Chu?
Yeah, they didn't even have her tonight either. That's right. You're absolutely right. But, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with the Tiffany Stratton one, though.
I'll tell you you're a Wendy Chu fan.
You know who I am a fan of? Who am I going to talk about right now? Who am I a big fan of, especially after tonight, man? Super impressed with this trio right now. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to make it to the WWE with this whole skit. And Thea Hale is going to become one of the biggest fucking superstars the universe has ever seen. And Chase and Duke Hudson both have a chance right now to get into the WWE and have a run as tag team champions and then go off into serious gimmicks later on. But this Chase U can work in WWE Universe. 100%. They have the perfect ingredients now. Brody was cool, but Duke is better. Duke's got more intensity. Duke makes this trio more loud, more vibrant, and he adds the same level of intensity that Chase can add to it. And then Thea Hale is just... she's like a box of, firecrackers that are all lit up, ready to pop. It's crazy how much energy she has, and how hard she goes in every single second of TV time you see her. She's trying, you can see she's like her passion just fucking pouring out of her fucking pores. I see it. I like it. Very impressed with Chase U. This was a great fucking segment. The match was great. We got to see another awesome. Duke was talking about how he wants to uphold the honor of Chase U by kicking Dempsey's ass. Chase was also saying the same thing. This was all good, man. Like I said, Thea Hale is a certified superstar in the making. Duke Hudson, pound for pound, is one of the most traditional looking wrestlers that you're going to see on TV today. True story. Facts. And I think Duke Hudson's probably a little better than Chase in the ring. But Chase ain't far behind. Chase ain't far behind, man. I like it. We can get back into Chase U later because we're going to see him again in that match. Charlie Dempsey, man. Another super impressive dude. This match was sickening. I loved it. I'm not going to say it was the match of the night, but it lived up to what it was supposed to be, which was a big win for Dempsey, taking down, Chase, because last time they met, Chase beat him. Obviously, he had a little help, and the reason he beat him is because Duke Hudson decided to throw in the white towel. Obviously, we're going to have some issues now. That was But I guess, according to commentary, it was the right call to throw in the towel. What did you think about that angle?
Well, Duke Hudson only cares about Duke Hudson, so we're about to see a match deadline leading to this. So let's see what happens with that. I disagree with your whole analysis and the whole Chase U and Thea Hill is a great wrestler, but let's face it, man, we haven't seen her wrestle. And the match that she pulled, I don't know if that was Kiana James or not, it wasn't impressive at all. So I'm a little disappointed that I want to see her more in the ring. I think she needs more ring time, not segment time. We all know she got a lot of charisma.
They just want to get her some experience, I think, on TV.
Yeah, she got a lot of charisma. I love it. I love the enthusiasm, but I want to see more in the ring. I think she needs more ring time, get more ring work. We all know what she's capable of. She's a veteran, especially Mission Pro. But let's face it, I want to see a little more, man. This is why we signed her, or we just signed her to be the entertainment side.
I like how when they started building her up, they were like trying to make it like a real life story, and like they did a good job with that.
So bad. This is so bad.
Come on, man. I like the match though, and of course, like I said, Duke picks up the big win. Not Duke. I'm sorry, Dempsey, Charlie Dempsey, who by the way is William Regal's son. So it's great to see. I'm sure William Regal was loving tonight live. He was watching, right? What else is he doing on a Tuesday night?
Prayer for AEW Dynamite.
Okay. What'd you think about this commercial we got with Kiana James going into the bar of Fallon Henley?
Let me tell you.
Fallon Henley's bar. That was her family's bar.
The moonwalking turbo shoes that this woman has on her feet is skyrocketing her to the top of the NXT women's roster. This person could quite possibly take the belt from Mandy Rose. Now it's crazy, right? But let's put the facts here. This girl is the only girl out of all the women's breakthrough. Remember that breakthrough tournament? This is the only one that is getting the most TV time out of all of them. Period. Ariana Grace was right there neck and neck with her, but she's injury pro. She got injury pro twice. So this girl, I don't know what it is. Don't get me started with this BS segment that we saw. I thought it was a waste of fucking time. We could have saw a lot of things like Tiffany Stratton or somebody else. But this girl, Kiana James, what the F? Seriously, what do you think?
I thought this whole thing was a shit show.
It was. I said that. But this girl really got a boost. Like, who's giving her this push?
I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Know.
I don't know what they saw to make her this thing. But bottom line is the memories are worth more to Fallon Henley than any of Kiana James's money.
This was really bad.
And, Briggs and Jensen both looked awful in this. The acting, the lines. It started off cool because I was like, oh, look, this has like an old school feel to it. But then they started talking, and that was that. It is what it is. It wasn't good. It's not going to get good. And it's almost as bad as what you're going to see next. Do you know what you see next?
Probably so something worse than what we saw.
Hank Walker. Well, actually, I'm lying right now, Jay. I'm lying to you because what I saw next
was a shit show.
No, actually, the finishing move on Hank Walker that Stax Lorenzo did, that curb stomp, but with his knee, that shit looked like money, brother. That shit looked like a legit nasty finishing move. I like it.
Nobody cared.
No, I disagree with that. I saw the crowd reaction. I saw people in the crowd going, holy
I saw
fucking
the crowd
shit,
reaction.
Man. Holy fucking shit,
the crowd reaction laughing at them for all the botches they were doing. That's what I saw. I saw that.
Well, I'm not talking about botches or any other part of the match. The finish, though, the finisher was good. We're getting to what? Hank Walker was in control, but Stax came back with an eye poke, cheated a little bit. And then hits a nasty modified curb stomp with his knee.
Listen,
I thought it was innovative and insane looking.
We could get to let's just cut the bullshit. We could get to the fact that these two are possibly quite the worst wrestlers we've seen on NXT getting this much TV time, right? Let's face it. This was so bad. I don't even know what to get. Hank Walker, this guy doesn't look like he's in shape. Got a beer belly.
Oh, like Joe Gacy looks like he's in shape.
He's out there. I told you he's lost weight. I said it earlier. But come on, Hank Walker, man. What is he doing in the ring? It was horrible. Everything, the facial expression, the selling, everything was so bad between these two guys. You know that move would have been great, and everybody would have crowd reacted the way you did. But you can't when you have two guys that don't know how to wrestle really well, and they didn't mesh together. It was just a mess. And Hank Walker looks horrible. He looks like an average Joe from the street. They're like, hey, well, you want to wrestle? Yeah, sure, why not?
I actually like the finish. That's all I'm going to say. I don't give a shit about the match, but the finish was cool. The finisher of the match was cool. Anyway, we get another segment with Mandy Rose and Alba Fire, but you don't see Alba Fire. First, it starts off with Mandy Rose, JC Jane. They're having a video conference. Alba Fire, though, is going to interrupt this conference and basically beat the shit out of JC Jane. And then get on the line and tell Mandy, see, I took out Gigi, now I took out JC, and next week I'm going to take out you for that title. Next week, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty happy about next week. They announced a lot of big matches for next week, which we'll get into that in a little bit. But what did you think about that little video call? Are you sold on Alba Fire? Do you think she has a chance to beat Mandy Rose?
I'm not sold on Alba Fire. I don't think this should be taking place, but we need somebody to just stomp over, and this is it. But I do want to change my top 10 on our website because, goddamn, I got to put JC Jane on that top 10.
I took out that top 10 shit, man.
Well,
we're gonna make it in the Discord. We're gonna make a new top 10 in the Discord.
She is a fucking star. She's my number 6.
Number 6, huh?
JC fucking Jane. Every time she's there, impressive.
You are a good person, I guess. I don't know. I guess you're a big JC Jane fan. I would have put her number 6 on my list.
She's
but
number 6.
I'll tell you something that you should always do, Jay. All right? When Grayson Waller tells you to get on Instagram, you go and you get on Instagram and you do it right away. You don't waste any time. You don't disrespect Grayson Waller, who right now is money on TV. He does a better job of hosting a talk show than The Miz. It is what it is. It's must-see TV. Grayson Waller. Innovative. Has the WWE Universe chiming in while he's interviewing 2 superstars, including the NXT champion of the world, with his challenger, Von Wagner. Von Wagner actually did well tonight. He didn't stutter. He didn't make any mistakes. He sent a clear message. He's going to launch Braun Breaker around the ring like a rag doll and rip that title off his shoulder. Braun looked good slamming Mr. Stone's face into the table. Grayson Waller was loving that shit. What did you see tonight in this? Did you enjoy this? I'm sure you did. You loved it.
Of course. Obviously, Jake Grayson Waller is the A+ star. He always needs the spotlight on him. But I'm impressed in Wagner. I saw something a little different, though. I saw at first Wagner was a little nervous or whatnot when he got on the mic. And Robert Stone, he just patted Robert Stone, and Robert Stone kind of just came up. But after that, Wagner took it from the mic. His mic skills got a little impressive. I'm a little shocked. It was great.
That's why I just judged him on that finish. He did the finishing and all the final lines good.
I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a good match.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good match. It's big man versus big man. It's going to be, and they're not like average big men. They're fast and agile.
I would love to see a shocker. I would love to see a shocker.
You might. It's Rumble season, man. It's Rumble season.
Deadline.
I'm telling you right now, if he loses this match to Von Wagner, Braun Breaker will be one of the final 4 guys in the Royal Rumble. Facts. He's not going to win it unless the planets align somehow, where he just starts selling more merchandise than anybody overnight. That's not going to happen, right?
No,
unless he comes out and, you know, pulls a fucking Austin 316 promo. You know how hard it is to pull that kind of promo off?
He could do it.
I'm talking about the kind of promo that the ripple that it's going to send through the universe. Like, you know, if Stone Cold doesn't cut that promo on Jake the Snake Roberts, does he have the same career?
Could be.
You're probably right, yeah. I mean, he was capable, but maybe the merch doesn't sell the same way.
The push was already there, so...
Yeah, but right? the merch. It's about the merch. Von Wagner, Braun Breaker. Great looking fucking segment and very exciting match coming up. I believe it's going to take place next week.
Yeah.
Next week. This is a pay-per-view. This is like a pay-per-view quality match you're getting free on a Tuesday night as long as you have cable. And if you don't have cable, you come right here and watch Wrestling with Savage, and then we'll tell you what happened. Tell you what we think. Great segment, though. Von Wagner looking like an absolute fucking stud. Braun Breaker doing his thing. Grayson Waller in the background. This is a great shot because Grayson Waller is just watching this like, I don't care who wins. I'm getting the belt next.
Yeah, that was good too. All good.
Absolutely insanity about to pursue right now, ladies and gentlemen. What you're going to see right now are screenshots of what was the match of the night, without a doubt. And the reason it was the match of the night is because well, we'll get to your take, but for me it was the match of the night. For me it was the match of the night because of the absolute ring psychology in the ring. JD absolutely, ring general in this match, took full control of the match. You know, they had all this stuff pre-planned. For him to sell that injury, to make it look like he really got hurt, and then JD comes in there like a fucking shark, attacking, smelling the blood, going for the kill, the spots, the bumps, the reverses, the counters, the way that Axiom was just able to like springboard into a fucking sleeper, the way he was able to just springboard into a submission. It was a fucking next generation kind of match. This is next generation talent right here. JD McDonough and Axiom put on a fucking clinic. 2 thumbs up. Entertaining match. And it had the whole building was into the match. Nobody knew who was gonna win. Everybody was on their feet at the end.
Oh, come on. We all knew who was gonna win.
No, not before the big injury. You know. JD wins the match only because of stoppage. This guy can't compete anymore. JD basically said he did him a favor. He didn't tear his ligament. He just strained it a little bit, which was a nice touch. But he also said that he was coming for the title and specifically coming for Apollo Crews to settle that. He said, what did he say? I'm watching you, Apollo, point to design. Okay, go ahead. What's your take?
Yeah, so this is not match of the night for me, but this was a great match. I enjoyed it. They had a lot of nice sequences, especially from the beginning of the match and with the reversals and the submissions. Great ending. I liked it. I'm not a fan of JB. I'm sorry, man. You cannot sell me. I feel like they're building this guy up to not lose until he faces Apollo Crews. And I don't know. Is it happening next week? I feel like Apollo Crews will probably walk out on top. That's what I feel.
I say this. If you haven't seen the match on NXT, forget what we're telling you. I'm recommending highly go back and watch this match. Axiom is really good. JD McDonough is really good. It's a fucking great match. It was better than anything that I saw on Monday Night Raw. And in my opinion, I think it's going to be better than anything I see tomorrow on Dynamite, too. Real quick, let's touch on Cora Jade. She's cutting a promo. Basically calling out Wendy Chu, telling her that you're not it, and you're never going to be it. And that's it. Strong promo. It was good. It filled its purpose.
I could go on and on and on forever, but this is what I tell you. This girl got it all. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Yeah, there's no point. You're right. We get another shot of the NXT Tag Team Championship preview. You know, you see Zoe Starks and Nikita Lyons. They're getting ready in the locker room. They're getting ready for their big opportunity to become the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Will they do it? We're going to find out that and much more as soon as we're back right here on Wrestling with Savage. Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live as the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
Because they are the best tag team in the world today. Woo!
George, I think George just tried his resume for Tony Khan. I don't know for George, huh?
We're Savage!
Of course.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live as the champ.
Alright, that's right, folks. We're back. We're back. It's NXT. Like I promised you, you're going to find out everything I mentioned, plus much more. We just heard from Jay about the Cora Jade promo. Obviously, he has nothing else to say because Cora Jade, to him, is the be-all, end-all of NXT. Now, we're going to be talking about the next match, which was a quick one. Brutus versus Damon Kemp. And again, I'm going to highly recommend, if you haven't seen JD McDonough versus Axiom, go back and watch it. Fantastic match. I can't give it any more praise. Damon Kemp now. Whoop-de-fucking-do. We're going to get into that. Deadline, also going to be live Saturday, December 10th. I wish I could go to some of these NXT events, man. I wish. But they're in Florida. They don't do tours anymore. They used to come to Brooklyn back in the day when they used to do these things called Takeover. I wonder if they're ever going to take over in New York again. Probably not. No way, right? Okay, so we got Brutus versus Damon Kemp. All right, big feud match. And
really
basically,
bad.
Brutus just gets disqualified because he ends up taking a chair away from Damon Kemp. Damon tried to get the chair first, I guess, right? Because he didn't care about getting DQ'd.
So bad.
And then Brutus says, "Fuck it," hits him with a chair. Brutus smash. Brutus senton, chair, DQ. And then the crowd's chanting one more time. He does it one more time. And then the absolute best part of this entire match was right at the end when you see these two men, Sanga and Veer Mahan, make their way out on the ramp over there to look down on their prey. And I pray as well that that's what the Creed brothers become to these two behemoths. And the future NXT Tag Team Champions of the world, Sanga and Veer Mahan, 100%. We'll see. I liked it. What'd you think?
This was a shit show.
Shit show, right? Can we just skip it?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Fucking
I
trash.
don't think Damon Kemp can wrestle either. So,
You have any comments again on this fucking other superstar that's coming back, man? Retribution, dude, with his mask burning. You got another promo.
Can't wait for this guy, man. I'm dying.
When is it? Deadline?
Turn.
Do you think we're gonna see him before deadline or after?
Probably during deadline, most likely. Probably during the championship match after.
Big possibility.
Some bullshit.
Now we're gonna get right into the match for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship of the World. Lyons and Starks versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance.
Woo!
Alright, but before we get into that, we have to do a couple other things, apparently. Indy Hartwell and Roxanne Perez now have a segment, and I thought this is where Indy Hartwell really shined. I mean, she just shut down Roxanne Perez and called her like a little, noob, basically. Like, you still haven't learned how long you've been here? You still haven't learned that that's not how it's done? She's like, Indy Hartwell's strong, saying, I know what I gotta do. I know exactly who I am. Roxanne's still over there just trying to be all, we're friends, you've changed, yay. What'd you think?
First of all, I'm not going to take no more of your bullshit comments on what you say about Roxanne Perez, who is an A-plus babyface, #1, no matter where she goes to SmackDown or Raw. She is the future. She is the star right now. That is her job, Savage. That is her job, folks. She's supposed to be kayfabe. She's supposed to be sentimental and quiet and whitey.
You know where I see her going?
Role. That is her role. She played it perfectly. Facial expressions.
The year is
Artwork.
2024. The venue is Atlantic City. And she has a match on AEW Dark Elevation.
You see? You must be confusing her with someone else. Maybe Pac, because Pac was an AEW Dark main event roster star.
I've seen a 1-hour compilation video of her botches from this year alone.
Roxanne Perez could be any of your top women stars. That could include as well Charlotte Flair. Call me crazy, call me whatever you want, folks. This girl has it all. She is #1. Period.
Listen, Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's champion of all time. I mean, it's not
Is she?
Absolutely. She's better than Randy Orton. She's better than Randy Orton.
Deonna Purrazzo could be a better champion.
Who?
Why not her?
No.
Deonna Purrazzo.
I don't buy in all this other crap promotion sometimes.
I buy it.
I don't.
She's a great wrestler. She's the virtuoso.
She may be the virtuosa, and she actually is a great wrestler. I'm not gonna knock her, but you know, she cannot say anything to the likes of Charlotte Flair just yet. We got to see what she can do in front of 100,000 people. The main event of WrestleMania. Put some respect on Charlotte Flair's name. She's the
main event in WrestleMania in 2 years is going to be Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. We all know it. So
you're the only one that fucking knows that, man.
I'm not the only one. Everybody likes Cora Jade. Everybody likes Roxanne Perez.
Who's everyone?
They are stars. Everyone. All the people.
Cora Jade, yeah, she's popular. She's super popular.
Savage, you never liked her when she was at kayfabe. You always hated her. Now you like her all of a sudden.
Yo, NXT, because she's a heel. I like heels. It's just my thing. I'm a bad guy. Best bad guy you ever get to see. Next week, like we mentioned, Braun Breaker versus Von Wagner NXT Championship match. That's going to be fucking awesome, and it's free. JD McDonough versus Apollo Crews. And, you know, I'm not going to knock Apollo Crews. No, I'm not going to. This might be a banger. Apollo Crews is an impressive athlete. He's capable of putting on good matches. These are two super athletes in very good shape right now. They have a possibility, because JD McDonough seems the type to me that he's not going to let you embarrass him on TV. You are going to have a good fucking match whether you like it or not, because I'm JD fucking McDonough. All right? Also, another championship match. Mandy Rose versus Alba Fire. And obviously, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan will not be there. So Mandy will be on her own defending her historic, monumental, upcoming super reign as NXT Women's Champion. I think she has a chance to beat everybody. But we'll find out if Alba Fire can actually burn down Mandy Rose's little empire. Now let's get into the match. Women's match right here. The match was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was actually a banger. They put on a good show. It was a banger. Do you know why it was a banger? It was a banger. It was a banger because that's what somebody said in Discord. They said, "Oh, this match was a banger." But
oh, I'm sorry if I'm laughing.
I'll say this: at the end of the night, all right, Nikita Lyons, Zoe Starks, they're gonna lose. They're not gonna win. They're taking the fucking L. And then Zoe Starks, she basically beat the shit out of Nikita Lyons. Took the championship belt, railed her in the back of the head, tried to hit the tag team champions, threw the belt at them, and the crowd is chanting, you know? Zoe is pissed off, or something like that. Or Zoe's really upset, something, I don't know, something like that. But I like the heel turn, at least. I liked it. I like the heel turn. You didn't like the heel turn? You didn't see it coming? I've been calling it.
Well, I saw something of a banger, which was the finish at the end, not the match. I thought the match was a bit sloppy, especially with Chance with her head scissors. It just didn't look smooth, look bad.
Did you see that one move where she like flipped over the ropes?
You saw the head scissors? The head scissors, she didn't even grab Stark's head. She was like, Starks had to like hold on to her leg.
She did a move where she was supposed to like hit the floor with her knees, just completely missed.
Yeah.
And then they pinned her.
Yeah, she did like a corkscrew.
Yeah, and the commentary was trying to cover for it by saying, "Oh, she must have dazed her."
Dazed nothing. This match wasn't clean, and no matter on paper, even though these girls are very athletic, they have a lot of athleticism and stuff. I wasn't impressed. I love the finish. I love the heel turn. I think we saw this a long time coming. I think you may even called it. I think we saw this right in the books. This is going to be a great match for Deadline. So I can't wait to see what comes next. But I wouldn't call the match necessarily a banger. I just thought the finish of Starks turning heel was the banger.
Well, the finish was cool because we got to see some real fucking action leading to another storyline. Now they're done as a tag team, so they're out of the way. Mm-hmm. Now we get a clear picture of who the dominant tag team champions are for the women's division in NXT. That's always cool. And now we're going to get a match between Zoe Starks and Nikita Lyons. We're going to get promos, we're going to get this. And long term, I think this is going to benefit Nikita. I think Zoe Starks is a way better wrestler than Nikita Lyons. And Nikita Lyons can learn a lot from running a nice program as Zoe Starks. So I could see this having good benefits long term for both of these ladies.
Yep, and there's a good backstory because she trained Nikita Lyons, so there's a good story to go with that. So
yeah, great. And then they're going to be, I think they're going to end up being battling for the number one contender spot to take on Mandy.
If that's the case, it won't be
at some point. No, yeah, Lyons.
If that's the case, it won't. Yeah,
who, that's a good question. Who's the few 1, 2, 3 girls right now that you can see actually taking the title off Mandy?
I don't think anybody's ready. I don't think we have a 1, 2, 3. But if I'm gonna put a 1, 2, 3 list, I'm gonna tell you right now.
If you could pick even
number one. Number 3 would be Nikita Lyons. Period for me. I think she still needs to do a little more work, and we're about to see it with Zoe Stark. I can't wait. Number two.
Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. Yeah, of course.
No, I'm actually can't believe I'll say this. I'm going to put Roxanne Perez at number 2. I think Cora Jade is number 1. I think she has a slighter edge and her promos are a little more effective with everyone in the crowd. So that will be my top 3. But I don't think I don't have a top 3. I don't think they're all ready yet.
I don't even think Roxanne Perez or Cora Jade are going to get a chance to get the NXT title. I think they're going to get to SmackDown and Raw before they even get that opportunity, to be honest. Because I don't think they want to take the title off. I don't think they want to take the title off Mandy yet.
I don't think they should rush
WWE needs it, man. They need
what happened.
They need more women.
Listen, look what we did with Theory. We needed more men. We rushed Theory. Look what happened last night. Shit show. Now we're back to square one.
If Theory was on NXT right now, how would he not be like dominating everybody?
Listen, like I told everybody in the Discord chats all over, I said this. Listen, I always said Austin Theory was too rushed to be into the main event roster. Period. Too rushed. I think he needed a little more time. They didn't give it to him. They rushed him. They gave him the spotlight with Vince McMahon's guy, and then after that, they gave him the crappers last night. Now we don't know where he's going.
It was a good heel turn too, because she was there pretending to give the titles too. They wanted to show a sign of respect, give up the titles, hand it over to the current champs, and Nikita goes a little above and beyond giving praise, and then Zoe just snapped.
Can I say this? This was probably one of the best heel turns as women tag team. Let's not forget, we saw this tag team heel turn with Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, but it was so bad because Cora Jade's skateboard broke before she even hit Roxanne Perez back. So this was actually a better heel turn.
No, this might be the best heel turn we've had on NXT all year. I mean,
we'll see.
A better one?
Still a lot of more.
You can't name a better one.
Still more time. There's still more time.
I'm talking up to this point right now. We're not talking about the future. The future's not here yet, but the future will be here tomorrow night. And we'll be back. Jay, do you have any final thoughts? NXT, pro wrestling, anything?
So it's just crazy because my phone's blowing up. I'm sure your phone's blowing up. Everybody's hitting me up talking about MJF and the movie role with the Iron Claw with the Van Erich. That is quite possibly, I think, the most impressive thing he has ever done. Period. I kudos to him. Congratulations. I think that's a really, really big move, man. And you know what? A guy like that with that charisma that you speak about, and we've seen it with The Rock, I see this guy transitioning. If he could do great, man, in this role, I see him transitioning.
Well, we don't know 100% what his job is yet. I heard that he might just be a wrestling.
He has to be in it, bro.
I heard that he might just be a wrestling advisor, like helping the people there learn how to wrestle, basically.
Listen, there's gonna be wrestling in there. They gotta put him in there. They gotta put him in a match. God, man. Can't just have a bunch of extras when you got the real deal.
Well, for all we know, Zac Efron could be a fan of his, and maybe that's why this happened.
Yeah, but I think...
Or one of the producers on the movie, dude.
He's gonna get...
Think about it. Think about it.
Think about that.
Think about this. Who is making movies about wrestling other than wrestling fans? The people that are making this movie are probably real-life wrestling fans right now, and they said, let's get the hottest wrestler in the world, MJF, right now. As far as, like, gossip goes, there's nobody hotter in the world of professional wrestling right now than MJF. Bottom line. Nobody.
I would say in that promotion, yes, you're 100% correct.
I would say in the world, as far as gossip goes, like daily gossip, like rumors and dirt sheets and bullshit like that. Like, they talk about MJF more than anybody else. Because with Roman, it's always the same conversation. There's no, is he going to go to NXT? Is he going to go with MJF? There's 100 different conversations because of the controversy he causes on the shows. But that's why he's so goddamn good. And this screenshot's so good too, right here. So, big shout out to Zoe Starks for making a nice heel turn tonight to end NXT.
Well, that was nice.
Absolutely. Make sure you catch us tomorrow when we cover AEW Dynamite and talk more things wrestling right here on Wrestling with Savage. Everybody have a good night, and make sure you follow us everywhere. Join the Discord and become part of the Busted
Facebook,
Open
Spotify
Savage chapter. And we're out of here. Everybody have a good night, man. Get some fucking sleep.
See you tomorrow.